I need to get involved with that, but I haven't.
Chris, last comments at the end, we need to be quiet.
A lot of conversation.
A lot of conversation.
As of yesterday, it's not. No, I'd rather have it earlier than this.
Oh, I know you would, but I mean, for them, because I know it's been later than that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Do you have a deadline when you asking for?
Warren,
Well, I think it's kind of. Years ago.
years since we were going.
I don't know if there's.
It's got billions of dollars.
Right, yeah.
Everybody knows.
No,
They know something we don't. I know, but it's.
you
At
ready?
least in my mind.
Good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get our study session started here. First up, we're going to have Tom Swartz with the Kansas Silver-Haired Legislative Update.
You want me to go there?
Yeah, that's fine.
That way we can get a good picture of you.
I said your name right, didn't I? I hope.
Yes, you did.
Good morning.
Well, the Silver-Haired Legislature, I don't know, do you know anything about that?
It's honestly the first time I've heard about it.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Well, I know when it's all
Something to do
that.
with hair color.
Well, that was gonna be my first joke.
Oh.
I did have black hair until I got elected to this, and
Oh.
so I had to change things, because I wanted to look the part, but, so I thought that might be the case, because I know when I talked to Lynn, just for a little bit out the parking lot up at West, he said that, yeah, I remember the Silver-Haired Legislature, and kind of talked about, I don't know what's been happening or anything, so I thought I'd just give a brief little feel about what it is. The Kansas Silver-Haired Legislature was created by an act of Congress in 1969. Each state was encouraged to create a body of seniors, and that's people over 60, not graduating seniors, who would identify issues important to adults 60 or older. The Kansas Silver-Haired Legislature was created by the Senate Concurrent Resolution 1649, and it was passed in 1982. So in Kansas, we've had the Silver-Haired Legislature since then. It's comprised of one person from each county, and then Wyandotte, Johnson, Shawnee, and Sedgwick, they have 5 additional just because of their population. So they have a few more. What we're all about, or what the Silver-Haired Legislature is all about, is identifying priority concerns of Kansans over 60 years of age. So then we develop resolutions designed to address concerns that we hear from people over that age. 2 weeks ago, we were in Topeka for our 3-day legislative session. All of the people who are elected go down there on a Tuesday. We start talking about the concerns that we've heard in our part of the state. We start and we bring in people to talk to us about some of those concerns and give us information on those. Then on the Wednesday, we go to the state capitol and we are actually in session just as legislators would be. This year we were in the old Supreme Court room because we're working on the House and the Senate down there, putting in new listening devices and stuff. So we debated and we came up with 5 resolutions during that day. Then on Thursday morning, we came back in and we finalized those 5 resolutions so that we can then talk to the legislators during this next session about those concerns. And I'll tell you what those 5 were. The 5 that we came up with on October 9th was, the first one is medical cannabis access. Our resolution says we support Senate Bill 294 to regulate and license the cultivation, processing, and use of medical cannabis in Kansas. We have heard a lot of seniors talk about chronic pain that they may be in and why they would like to see that pass in Kansas. So that's our first resolution. Second resolution is property tax relief for seniors. And our resolution says we support Senate Bill 215 for similar legislation to provide property tax relief for seniors facing rising costs. I don't know how many of you are aware, but in 2023, again, this is something we've been working on, or that the Silver Legislature has been working on in the past. And in 2023, there was actually a bill that did pass. It was called the Golden Years Homestead Property Tax Freeze Act. And what that does is anybody over anybody who is a senior, age 65 or older, for the whole entire tax year, if their property taxes are more than what they paid in 2021, then Kansas, you go through a process and Kansas will then rebate or pay the difference between what it was in 2021 and what it would be at that point. So they would get that kind of like a tax refund. Is how I perceive it works, and I don't know if that's correct, but I think it is.
There's a little bit of change in that.
It's what?
There's a little bit of change in that. 2021 is your base year, only if you're 65 on that year.
Right, on that year.
Yep.
Correct. And so what we wanted to do with this resolution is, well, even look at that, and plus there's amounts for the amount that your property is worth. And we're trying to look at maybe increasing that since everything else has been increasing, so that seniors who maybe were above that limit would not be there. So that's why we're looking at that again. The third resolution is Medicaid and food assistance. We want to preserve Medicaid the way it is, and home and community-based services, and SNAP. And we support the Medicaid expansion to leverage federal resources. With the bill that was passed at the federal level, there are lots of things coming down the pike that you need to be aware of as county commissioners, because a lot of the things that were paid for at the federal level are going to be passed down to the states and the counties. And that's a lot of the services that seniors receive now. So it's something we really got to keep a watch on. And that's why we say in our resolution, preserve what we have. Medicare is being cut, or will be in the next 10 years by that bill. Medicaid will be cut to the state, and it's going to make a big difference on what's paid to hospitals. There's going to be a 4% reduction in what the federal government will pay. That has to be made up somewhere, or that means that hospitals and doctors and medical providers that provide services, they're going to lack that amount of pay. So it's either going to have to be made up by states. If it isn't, then our hospitals and service providers, are they going to survive? Rest homes too. That's going to be a real problem in the future. So that's something that we are really taking a big look at. Also, SNAP, that's the old food stamp program, but that is being cut too. And so that means those services, if Kansas does not pick up, it's about $50 million more that the federal government will not be paying. And if Kansas doesn't pick it up, we could lose the whole program. And that's very important to seniors and people who are below the 38% poverty level. So it's a big concern for us. Medicaid expansion, we're one of only 10 states that haven't done it. And the big problem that we see with that is Kansas could have taken advantage for the last couple of years of a part of the law that said if we would have done Medicaid expansion, the state would have received between $550 million and $700 million just to get on board the last couple of years. That ends at the end of this year, 2025. With that money, that would have supported 16,000 elders, seniors who don't have medical insurance, and 160,000 other in the state that don't have it. It would have paid for all of that. Those people would have had medical care for the next 10 years under this if we had done Medicaid expansion, but we didn't do it. But we still can do Medicaid expansion and still get on the 90/10. So that's something that we would really urge that that's what we're going to be fighting for down there in Topeka with legislators. Voting rights is our fourth resolution. We oppose any legislation that restricts voting access for seniors. and other voters. We want to protect mail-in, early voting, and polling accessibility. For our seniors, sometimes they can't get to that poll on the day because of all kinds of reasons. Could be weather, could be health. There's just too many things. We don't see restricting voting access for our seniors as anything that's positive. And seniors are the ones that vote in the highest percent. So we don't want to see that cut. And then the fifth priority or resolution is senior transportation. I think you're all aware that KDOT has a program where they fund collaborative community-based transportation systems in rural, remote, and metropolitan areas, including microtransit with strong local control. And we want to continue urging the legislature to keep providing those funds and even look for other ways to help seniors out and other people in the community. So that's a little bit about what we did in Topeka. How's the Silver Herd legislature funded? Well, it's currently supported 100% by donations and candidate registration fees. When I was a candidate, I had to pay dollars so that I could be a Silver Herd legislator. When I went down to Topeka last week, I had to pay all my expenses down there. When I travel around the county to senior citizen centers and things like that, I pay for my own travel. I don't receive anything, and Silver Herd legislature does not have the funds to pay for those. So I know in a lot of places, the county helps do that a little bit. At least other legislators told me that and said that they were getting some of that stuff paid for them. That's not why I'm here. I just wanted to tell you about what we were doing, but it might be something to look at in the future, especially with other people too that would come after me as in that role. But the main thing is there's lots of programs that could be on the chopping block because of what's happening at the federal level, and then states and counties making that up. I know, and cities making up that, like our senior citizen center. The food at the senior citizen center, those meals, that's all funding that comes out of the Older Americans Act, which was put in place in '65. There's over $1 billion that's being cut from that for next year. So that's going to come down for the states, counties, and cities to help fund some of those things. Senior services at home, instead of going to the nursing home, seniors like to try to stay in their house as long as they can. We have a great program here in Dickinson County, hospice and home services. Those funds are going to be getting cut. So we really got to keep our eye on what's best for not only all the citizens, but our seniors. And those things are very important. So.
And obviously we try to hold the line and are reluctant ever to raise taxes, but that's one of our challenges. What you mentioned, there are unfunded mandates or rules or programs, just whatever you want to call them, but they're unfunded. And it gets pushed down to the county level and the city levels often. And then, people still expect that service to be taken care of because it's always been there. Just a question I had now, are you on some of those issues, not only the resolution will be brought forth, but when the Senate has their committee hearings and so on, I assume that someone from your group usually goes and testifies and presents on behalf of the.
Right, there are two people, there's the speaker, the Silver Herd legislators, and then the president. Both of them will be in Topeka during the session. They'll talk about these issues, and they'll be there to give the different numbers and stuff that we have that support the services being retained or to help. So yeah, we do have two people to do that, and they do have a little bit, we do our silent auctions and stuff like that when we go down to Topeka, and that little bit of money helps them then be able to do that during the year.
Pretty straightforward. I think some of these are some good issues to be bringing up. So thank you for the update.
I did forget to mention too, that we're part of the North Central Flint Hills area on aging, and that's out of Manhattan. And they're the ones that, when the federal dollars come down, they get them out to like the senior center for the meals and for SHIC. The thing right now that's going on since October 15th, where you can get assistance with your drug rider and your medical, Medicare insurance for seniors and just those kinds of things. So that's done through the North Central Flint Hills area on aging. They help distribute all those services and work 18 counties as part of that.
Bringing that up, we have a resolution today to appoint a new representative to that board.
Task Force of Aging.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
And we do supplement or supplement the forest food services here in the county too. We do provide some additional funding to them along with the fees that we pay to the North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging, so.
It's gonna probably be more important in the future too, the way it's looking at this point, so.
And I guess we could probably find out that like at those that go to the senior center and not only here, but throughout are those I guess I'd be interested if those numbers are staying constant about the same or.
Did you get?
I mean, I wouldn't expect you to answer that now, but
Right.
I think that we need to continue those communications with those directors and.
Mhm.
I know, when I was out there about a month, I mean, I've been going around too to ask those same questions. Eating in the center itself, that hasn't come up since COVID very much, but there's still about 35 people a day. Sometimes there's more depending on if it's probably a school day or whatever.
Yeah.
But the amount of meals though that they bring to people, that is huge. So I wish I had that number written down. I was thinking it was 135 meals a day that they provide, but I might be wrong on that.
And there's a lot of volunteers.
Yes. A lot of people that drive the meals out to people like that. And then we supply Solomon with meal, or they supply Solomon with meals. So they bring those over and their meals, they serve in Chapman through their center in Harrington.
Hope.
So.
My grandson actually got kind of recruited to help his grandmother and her friend because they deliver meals.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it once and he enjoys it. I mean, because they're used to seeing a certain group of people and
I bet they love talking to him.
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, it's a big social interaction deal too, because some of those folks don't get out. And so not only the meal is important, but just that social interaction that's the thing I see most of the time when I go out, is that's what's most important to them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they don't have people, they don't have relatives around or.
Well, sometimes it almost not intended to be a welfare check, to check up on
Oh,
them.
yes, right.
But
Yeah.
if there is something going on, sometimes it's discovered and
Yeah,
a little assistance. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but.
that's right.
well, Tom, I appreciate you coming in today. Thank you for the update.
I mean, whenever you want to hear any information about it, I'll try.
Yeah, anytime.
So I'll send you the press releases on
Perfect.
those resolutions so that you can have them and then maybe you can share them then too.
Appreciate
Tom,
that.
if you have any updates, please get in contact with Janelle. We can get you scheduled anytime you want to come back and give us an update. So
Sounds good.
I'd love to know where some of this stuff goes next year. So maybe if you want to plan on that, I'd love that.
Okay.
And we'll talk to some of the legislators too, because they'll come in and sometimes share something that they're really going to be working on, maybe in particular, but also they kind of do that as a listening tour because our department heads are involved.
Mhm.
Used to be they just would come and talk to us mainly, and I think, Janelle, maybe that was your idea to get the department heads, other elected officials, and so they're speaking to more of a group, and that's helpful.
Well, especially when there's so many services involved.
Mhm.
Exactly.
It needs to be a a group to talk to them. And I'd like to invite any of you too. We have a CARES Coalition of Dickinson County meeting every last Tuesday of the month at 3 o'clock at the school district board office. If you want to attend, you're more than welcome. Right now, we have about 80 different organizations, agencies, people in Dickinson County. They don't all make it on that Tuesday, but they do receive the information that we go over. And what we're all about, we're just a lot of people who work trying to help people provide services, trying to figure out how we can do a better job, a smarter job, and try to help more people. So if you want to be a part of that meeting, that's every last Tuesday at 3 o'clock. And,
Where's that at? Where is that held?
At the school district
Okay.
board office.
Okay.
And that's right there on 3rd and Broadway.
Yep.
Former bank buildings,
Yeah.
Yep.
although that's
Or
been a long time ago.
Yeah, and then it was Sports Hall of Fame for a little while, and then the school district got it.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity to
No
talk.
problem.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, we got a few minutes here. Do you want to?
Okay, so, yes. I wanted to visit a little bit about the motor vehicle. I know we've tried to change legislation for a year. We're going back again this year, but nothing's being done. So, what we can do as a county, we can add a facility fee for everyone that comes into the office. It will help. It's not going to solve our problem, but it definitely will help to get some funds back here in Dickinson County. Because right now, your landowners or your businesses are footing that bill for the motor vehicle not being funded through the state. So this way, if we have that facility fee on there on every transaction, now it won't be people that mail them in, because the registrations won't show that. So if you mail it in, go online and do it, that fee will not be added. It will be coming in, which when we think about doing title work on registration, somebody that just purchased a vehicle, we get we have a few service fees in there, maybe $3.50 or something, but from that title, we get $2 and that is it. So this way, we can add that extra fee and help. Our motor vehicle fund is in the red now. So they won't have that on their renewal forms, but I'm ready to take this and make that change. We probably have about a third of the state that already charges a facility fee. Counties that have satellite stations, they can charge up to $5. But the counties that do not, we can charge $2.50 a transaction. So,
Can we add it to the online payments? Is there a way to do that?
no, not at this.
Because
time,
we're running
it's in
through.
that program through the state. So,
Okay.
yeah, so if
What will
they,
it generate if that would be implemented?
so I kind of did a little bit of an estimate of like the registrations, titles and commercial. And we're probably looking at around 34,000 a year that would help. So my hopes is that if we collect this, then my treasurer's budget isn't compensating for all of these things, because I have to do any work on printers. The toner's very expensive. A toner's like $375 for a toner that we have to use if they were mandated to do that. So those stickers work. So a lot of expenses come out of the treasurer's part that really is not county treasurer, it's motor vehicle. So right now, the county's footing all of that.
So this makes it more of a standalone fund specific
That-
for that. And the
yes.
money collected is
That's how
for
it
that.
should be, and that's how it used to be. But now, of course, everything's so much higher. They used to always provide with printers, toners, all of those things. And we're mailing everything. That's on us.
A different way of saying it, the the cost that we have to put into running your title and registration on our vehicle doesn't get compensated by the fees alone, and we have to use some ad valorem tax to compensate for that, which is technically, we know that's not the way it's supposed to run, but that is the way it's running right now. So we don't really have a choice.
Right. And so here's my feeling is that the gentleman, or maybe they have a number of businesses or a number of properties. So they're footing that bill for that motor vehicle customer. And if we think of how many customers we would have that don't own real estate, and they may have a number of cars. So they're using that service and really not paying for that service.
I'm going to be a little more clear, just because I think people often, I hear this a lot. Well, I pay my tax. Why isn't that covering everything? Well, that doesn't cover the auxiliaries to operate it, what has to be done. In other words, this is an operating cost. I'm going to, maybe not the right way to say it, Marcus, I'm looking at my, that doesn't, the wage is totally, it's a different thing. That does come out of ad valorem, goes into your budget. So I just want to differentiate those two for the public so they understand.
And it's still a service we're providing for the state of Kansas because they require that.
Correct. In other words, we're not saying you got to register your vehicles, the state is.
Right. Yes.
So I just wanted to explain in case somebody's listening.
So my prediction is we have a third of the counties already charging that. I would say probably another third's going to come on this coming year. So it's going to be the majority. A number of counties around us already charge that. So
is that something you can just do and you're advising us, or is this something?
I just wanted to let you know because
There's something you can do.
I feel like she
Vote on it, it's
It's not-
in-house.
I just wanted to make this aware to everyone of what's going on and why we're doing that.
Sure.
And I will put something in the newspaper, get on the radio, we'll talk about it. And I told my staff, if somebody's not happy with that, I would be glad to visit with them of why we're doing that.
So would this be, is this in effect now, or would it be effective
January 1st.
January 1 is your date?
Yes, yes. So I think we're kind of left with no choices anymore. You know, every year we think we're going to get that legislation through, but say if they do get something through the legislation, we can, every year we have to decide whether we want that facility fee. So we could drop that facility fee if they get something calculated to give to the counties to help them with those fees. So, but
It seems the legislators, the few that we talked to, understood the concept, but it never ever would get any traction down there at Topeka. So I mean, I never sensed that it was close to being recalculated, because that's money the state is used to getting from us or keeping, and so they're not going to give that up.
right.
Is kind of
Because
read between the lines for me.
KDOR funding comes through the highway. So then the highway's got to give KDOR more money to give to the counties. Well, there's a lot of steps in there. Even if KDOR gets that extra money, are they gonna put it down to the county? So it has to be something that's, every year we try to do a different approach to get that through, but people don't understand that counties are doing those services and the state isn't compensating them. So,
Just to speak plainly, we're talking about your fee is going to go from $10 to $12.50 if you come into the office to do your title registration. Is that an accurate statement?
yes. So,
I mean, obviously your taxes and stuff, but
right. So,
just the fee part of it.
yes, but we don't get, so that will help that. So, not every transaction is the same
Right.
charge, depends on what we're doing. Some doesn't seem like the counties get nothing, hardly nothing for the time that they've spent
Sure.
to do that, what you're paying, so. So hopefully that will help with that come budget time next year. We can look to see what that has done. There'll be a separate line item that we'll be able to track. And then hopefully that will affect the next year's budget that we can do something with that and truly have the expenses that are motor vehicle coming out of the motor vehicle funds instead of out of my treasurer's funds. So.
Makes sense.
So, and a lot of counties I talked to that have started it within the last 5 years, they said like the first year's your toughest, but once you tell them, most people pretty much understand, or it's a fair way to do this for a person that doesn't own any real estate or anything here, that they're coming in and they might have 8 vehicles. They'll pay more than the person with 1 vehicle and own their real estate. So it's just putting it into the right area. So if you have questions, what you think about it, you let me know. So I talked with Kenny a little bit on this, and Marcus and Janelle, so.
It's been quite a few years since we've been able to cover all the costs, and all we're taking out of it is salaries as a motor vehicle, and just a portion of her staff comes out of it, not everyone.
You know, the 2012, when we converted over, they gave us printers and things there, but I've had to replace them, and the printers are very expensive. They're not just a normal little printer. You've got to get this, they tell you which one you have to get, that they're not paying for. So, yeah. So, if you have any questions, please let me know and try to answer those, or we'll figure it out.
Thank you, Leah.
Thanks.
Ready, Brock? Just a little bit over. We're doing good.
Brock gets long-winded sometimes.
Yeah, I don't have a lot today, just a few things. We are down 1 paralegal right now currently. Connor, who worked for us, went back to the sheriff's office, so we're glad he stayed with the county. He's an asset to either one of us wherever he was at. And we have made an offer to someone who's accepted. We anticipate them starting on November 3rd, and we'll be back to full staff then. The second thing I typically do is just kind of update you on where we're at with case statistics. So from last year on criminal cases, those are felony and misdemeanor adult cases. Last year, we had a total of 287. We're at 206 for this year. We had 1,097 traffic cases. We're at 1,073. 134 MR cases. Those are the ones that are search warrants that are filed. Those are fugitive cases. So when somebody's wanted in another state and they're arrested here, we file a fugitive case to get them back to the state that wants them. Juvenile offender cases, we're at 46, and last year 57. And juvenile child in need of care cases, 33 last year. We're at 35 now. And the field and game, we have pretty active game wardens around here. So we had 11 field and game cases last year, and we're at 19 this year. Questions? That's about all I have for you.
I'd only ask if there's anything pressing that we need to be thinking about that would get our attention.
We have 3 jury trials coming up. There's one at the end of the month, and I think 1 each week after that right now. Some of those are multi-day, some of them are shorter. The only thing I can just remind you of, we're not in budget season, obviously, we're past that, but we're getting more and more appeals, so I know that that's going to be a line item in our budget, or the contract rate's going to go up next year. It just seems like I get notices from the appellate defender's office every time, and I have to forward on to the AG's office. So there's quite a few of those ongoing right now as well. And they do. I mean, they keep us up to date on the status of those. We get everything that they're doing, and so we know about them because there are cases, but they handle all the filings and briefs and stuff like that.
Sounds good to me, Brock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah. That was short and sweet.
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you want to get into that?
Barton was gonna come up for the UP Railroad. Let me text him and see if he can go ahead and come up now.
Okay.
And we can talk about that agreement right quick.
Take a little break, wait for Martin.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Why don't we do that?
Okay, good. They're gonna ask if you want this up. We don't want to break you. All right, perfect. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, muted since we're on break.
No, let me do that real quick.
Yeah, especially at the front is seems a little harsh, but maybe someone went on his property. I don't know.
Mm.
Haven't heard.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, you drive by and it's like, okay.
Oh. That's a little unnerving, definitely.
There's one here, but
Okay, I missed that.
they kind of hit it, that yellow marker by it.
Oh,
So who would
thank you.
guess? Who would ever guess that?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
No, that's what I look for it on your desk.
Well, I thought, well, I better hang on to it in case Mark, so, yeah.
I'm sure they've had the chance to read every word.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Good morning.
Morning. Yes,
Wait for
it's
you.
not raining this morning too.
Well, man,
Got
yeah.
back on the bridge.
On the railroad crossings, or new railroad. I think those are all signed, yeah. If I disagree. You have to tear it out real quick. So, ready the rest?
Don't give it to Jennifer until you're 100% sure.
Hey, Doug.
Martin, you want to come on up and
How you doing?
get us started on this deal?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was, these were.
Well, down in Harrington, of course, you're all aware that they're getting ready to put a second track in from the training yard all the way down to Trail Road. And they had a track on the east side of the existing track. I think the unique thing about this contract is, it is the first time they've ever come to us about a crossing. When we first talked, they kind of acted like we had contracts for all our crossings and we had agreements or whatever, which has absolutely never happened. So this is our first agreement on two crossings.
Is this one just south of Highway 4?
Let me see if I can bring it up actually on the computer here so we can look at it.
And always making moves.
Oh, okay. Because there is one,
Yeah,
that's kind of a, have you ever been on that road?
I haven't.
And it, all of a sudden you just come up and there's this huge overpass type thing and the railroad tracks underneath it.
I think this one goes south. of
So that's,
Yeah, this is on the south end. I'll
I
pull
was
it up.
thinking of that one on Quail Road.
Oh,
So
That's a little unusual, that one.
now, just a side note, we do know from the plans that our engineer got, because Call Valley got the staking and stuff for this job when they bid on it. We know from him seeing that the plans actually show the future project going north of the second track, which would mean that old antique railroad crossing over Highway 4.
Yeah.
That would be new and be doubled at some point in the future. Of course, time-wise with the railroad, we have no clue what that is. But the plans that he has shows it going north out of Harrington, and they can double that. So I would foresee that they never plan to slow that yard down in Harrington. It's going to become a more major exchange like it was 50 years ago. So, but anyhow, the agreement when we first got it, had Chad put it, it was 99.9%, everything wrote in the railroad's favor.
yes.
And so as Janelle read it, she had to read it about 2-3 times a piece because it was just astonishing. Everything was all this for us and us. And the only way we were involved, it was going to cost us money if we attempted to do anything or move anywhere and get close to them. So we met with them online and gave them our suggestions, and they had a lawyer firm, now I can't remember what it was that was handling it for them. And he took all the suggestions into account, and I would say we got almost
Everything,
asked for.
yeah, almost everything, yeah.
Yes,
And the one that we didn't get was okay, actually, so.
So we believe with what they've resent now is an acceptable contract. You know, the drainage is good. He's seen the prints now. It looks like it does not hurt anything. It actually will help the drainage off of 400 and Union there. And, so we had the maintenance and repairs section 5 on.
It's under the exhibit B, yeah.
Yeah, was the only thing that had a little bit of B there about in the future, if we ever requested that the crossing be fixed, it appears to say if we ask for it, we'd have to pay for it. Okay, now, they claim they built them and it's a, lifetime crossing and whatever. So the future people just got to realize, you can call, but do not request a project that you want that fixed in the middle of it, or you're accepting payment the township would be. And that would be on the township and not the county.
Right.
And of course, they would come to the county.
Well, it kind of started that the township had reached out to Martin and asked, you know, what do I do with this? And take a look at it. And we had Doug look at the initial agreement and then the others. So they'll sign off on this agreement as well.
After we do.
After we
Then
do.
We'll have, tell Todd that we believe he can sign.
Yeah, and then he should be good. So, but yeah, I couldn't remember if we had ever had any kind of agreement at all.
Nobody I've talked to that can ever remember any agreements with.
Yeah.
You know, because I think when we were fighting 14th out here, and all that
Mhm.
research we did there, and John Golf did, if there was an agreement, we would have found it.
Right, right.
Because we fought with them over that crossing for years.
Mm-hmm.
And so forth. But all they basically ask, and we don't do it anyhow, when we do a road project up to a railroad track, we never change the grade at the railroad track. We do our design at their height and then make the rest of our road match to it. And we always have and always will, you know.
That just adds expense if we decided to do that.
It would add expense because then you would end up having to pay to have the railroad move up to your new grade.
Yeah.
So we've worked towards cheap road, all of it
Mhm.
over time, and we just don't change your grade. We come off of their grade and started at that. And that's how you avoid that. So I'm assuming by the way they wrote the contract, in other places that hasn't happened.
Right.
You know, somewhere in the city or something, they wanted to change the whole lay of the road, and then it cost them to move the railroad track. So
Mhm.
if you have a chance to glance over it, I would advise that we sign it and we have our first agreement on a railroad crossing in the county. There's not anything special in it, I think, that needs
Who on
mention.
our side reviewed this?
So Doug has reviewed it
Doug.
and then our county engineer and Martin and I.
Would you mind speaking to it a little bit from a county councilor standpoint? This agreement we're signing? Hesitant just to agree on day one. I kind of read it myself.
That's why I thought we'd just get it
Yeah.
in study session. Yeah.
I don't know where you guys are, but I mean, it's a thick document.
Yeah, it's-
What, in the contract, I haven't I've read it either. What provisions are there in for utilities to go under the tracks and stuff?
Okay, there's a section in there.
Yes.
And they are required, the cost is on the utilities
Yes.
to take care of their own stuff.
But they can.
Yes, but they'll call them when they make that widening, they're gonna have the fiber moved and the power company's gotta move their poles and there's a lot going on. But all the utilities are quote unquote on their own under there. That's, you know, and they are under our road, so to speak, it's the same form. You know, you have to do that, you have to put our road back as, just like it was or whatever.
It's under section 8, number M, or letter M.
What page is that on? All right.
So it would be on page 7 under the appendix B.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
That's the fiber.
And all the utilities fall basically under that.
Yeah.
That point.
Let's see.
I know our community's got some water running around there somewhere. Water-
Yes, and the water line they will get a hold of the water line. Chad's got the work plans. I won't get a set until the job starts. And, but I will have a set and I'll have a little more idea. And we'll get that set because mainly quickly because Call Valley got the bid.
And we will require right-of-way permit on the county side
Right.
as well. And they'll have to approve the W beam sections by KDOT standard.
Right, we'll have to approve it all. they'll have to follow any rules that we want to add to what they do like our right of way. Because on the, part of that to the west, they're gonna utilize part of our right of way to make a bigger, better drainage ditch. They're gonna join their property and our property together.
I was wondering about drainage, but also, do they overbuild the road a little bit for,
Yes,
um,
the road is,
I mean, if it's too narrow,
it won't be here.
they'll never expand it,
No, they're gonna, it's actually gotten wider.
so they're overbuild it a little
They're
bit.
overbuilding by and going 100 and some feet on the east side, I believe it was, and not quite that far on the west side. But they're improving the road, improving the ditches, adding riprap to protect it all. That some of this will be laying in our right of way. The one thing that on one side, they're gonna put about 400 foot a guardrail along that road. That because of the new big ditch, okay, bigger ditch. And we will find out. But Chad and I talked, we ventured to say that 400 foot of guardrail will become the county's. Because it's gonna be along our road, protecting our drivers not to go off the road anywhere along there. So, like I say, we'll get back a little more on it when I get a set of plans in here. Show you exactly where that guardrail is gonna be and all that. I need plans to do that. Right now, I'm just word of mouth, is all we're getting back and forth. But I heard equipment was moving in. Ron, I don't know if you drove over the overpass and looked down in there. I haven't yet.
I haven't.
But they say they're already working in the railroad yard. Of course, that's their property and all of their property, and they have already started inside the city limits. So, but there's a ton of dirt work. It's gonna be a ton of material. The contractor has called me and asked about having a place to dump the material. If the material's good, we will take it for free. We won't pay for any material, but if they want to haul it and dump it where I want it hauled and give it to us, we'll take the dirt and take whatever they come up with. So, and that's all up to the contractor, not the railroad. So.
Just talk about drainage in here, but that's obviously being, I would assume, baked into the architecture of the plan anyway.
Yes, and on the preliminary plans, we're pleased with what they're doing to the drainage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was when they wanted to expand out and take on both right of ways to make a bigger ditch. I mean, we have quite a bit of that along Old 40 out here where us and the railroad are close together. I mean, they actually own most of the grass is actually theirs. Okay, their property comes out there 50 feet and it's.
They mow for it?
Well, they never know. Okay, so a few years ago, when I cut the dang trees down and I need to cut them again, yeah, they won't mow it. Trying to get some farmers to help us mow it.
How long it took them to get that rail car out in the grain?
Yeah, that's sat there for.
That was there for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grew up trees around it. Is there so long?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've never gotten mad at us. We've been stopped once when we mowed out onto their property. A flagman went by and shut us down. And then he got a superior, and the superior told him, man, let them cut anything they want. Okay, and then we were back off the hook. But in theory, anytime you work on the railroad property, you gotta hire a flagman. And then you have to pay them 8 hours for every day you use them. If you only use them for 2 hours, you gotta pay for 8. And, you know, we cut the trees the one year out here towards Solomon within 10 feet of the tracks. We got so tired of the trees that we tried to get them all cut down as best we could. And all we had to do is, the guy said, just keep watch for the train and get the hell away when they're coming. And we didn't end up having any problem. We just kept one guy on the tracks looking both ways and get it done. But the way it says, if you're within their right of way, you should have a flagman there at all times. And that's almost ridiculous for what we do with them. So,
The only problem I ever had, is I had worked with the railroad a little bit, Union Pacific, and they required us to carry the insurance on their own property.
I know.
I
Yeah.
thought that was so, I
Mhm.
wasn't used to anything like that.
yes, it,
And they had it
there's
in
a
here.
section in here that says you will carry insurance, and the county meets all the amounts they have.
Yes, yes.
I mean, we have the insurance, yes. We meet that requirements. Yes, that prevents a lot of people from being able to work on that right away. If they're small or whatever, smaller guys, and I don't carry that kind of insurance.
Right, right.
So.
Mm.
I think the funniest thing was the first copy was, man, everybody will owe us and we will owe nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, you know,
It's just
yeah.
typical, I think.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that,
But they did seem to have a good representative lawyer that took into account what we had to say and changed it. So I think that was a win for dealing with UP. Anytime you get them to change their verbiage for you, they've done all right, you know. So,
Yeah, okay.
see anything exciting in there, Doug?
Janelle and I have been through many of these with the railroad, and they're an interesting group, but no, this looks very similar.
Okay.
Doug, your opinion, that would be an acceptable agreement for the county to agree to?
Well, if you're comfortable with it, you.
I think we are, the engineer and I, Janelle, we beat it back in Marcus, we beat it back and forth multiple times.
Yeah.
We're on the right track.
That was a,
yeah.
Had to be Ron to
Had to
say.
get that one in there. Well, I think what we ought to do, Martin, is, I would like to review it another week myself, and then, why don't we
Next week.
plan on it for next agenda next week?
So next
I would
week is
say-
a local road consult. So,
We can go, whatever.
yeah, I mean, we can do it next week with, I think it's just you were planning on attending and so it's not a problem.
Martin, I have a question.
Yeah.
Someone shouts it.
Yeah, yeah.
So at our regional county meeting, that's one of the agenda items, not the railroad, but switching gears, the rock shortage. Do you have any thoughts on that or what we're doing?
As of right now, they're claiming they're gonna be able to produce, okay?
Okay.
I think they've caught enough flack from enough people that they're saying they're gonna be able to make the rock this year.
And I don't want to, I mean, I know we all want to work together, but sometimes it's who's first in line and who's getting the most. And so what do we do to make sure that we're taken care of? I mean,
Yeah.
not that I wish any ill will for the other counties, but.
You know, according to Hams, we're one of their number one customers. And they say that they have to take care of us. I mean, and the one thing is all that money that came from the feds, this next year is the last of that big infrastructure money. And that will change the whole dynamics of the rock fortune, and it should shift back to where all the locals and your normal amount of work is being taken care of. You know, because that money does run out next year, and I don't foresee it getting bumped again like that.
I don't think so either.
You know. But, yeah, so far, our talks with them, I'm believing our rock's gonna be fine next year. We're gonna be able to get it. So
And don't
we haven't
go
got
far.
a sign from them yet. And, you know, we're talking about still meeting with Hams again. But I heard a rumor that come next spring, it won't be Hams. It will be Martin Marietta. So just on my ear to the floor tells me that place is changing hands. Okay, but that is just a rumor. There's no fact there yet. So, just
We
so,
won't be surprised. if
I
we
don't
go.
be surprised if we come next spring, we're visiting with Martin Marietta and
do we have the ability to build up our quantity of rock on hand? Because sometimes when that happens,
Right during the change,
the price,
we're hoping that it doesn't happen too soon in the first part of next year if it goes through and we have time to start piling rock and getting ahead of the game, yes. But why they're still in why Hayes is still in there. And, you know,
and I know that stuff. I mean, Marcus should have an idea on it too, but, you know, sometimes spending a little extra to have those quantities on hand are really helpful.
yes, yeah,
Um,
we'll be on top of it.
I mean, it's,
Yeah. I agree completely though, because you don't know during that switch time, what kind of shutdown transaction time, you know, will they keep any of the employees? Will they, you know, will we have the same people to deal with?
No, separate entities.
Okay.
well, and I hope the public doesn't jump ahead on it because sometimes we don't know. I mean, those things
Right.
can change. And so I mean, I think you did qualify it as a rumor,
Yeah,
but you know, sometimes someone hears something.
Unverified.
I just thought it would be, since we are talking always about
Yeah.
getting something going with them, they may not be there next year. That's all I'm warning us. The other little bit of news I got, Reese Construction is going to start about a week early on Lane Road down there. They hope to be there the 22nd now. So their crane's already setting down there, so I'm pretty sure they're going to make it. So we have wards of schools.
Mhm.
Yeah. People are not going to like it, but they'll move along as fast as they can. So, yeah.
Get it done as soon as possible, yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Appreciate it.
So I did give you kind of a summary of things, topics for next week. I don't know if that's agreeable or if you want to take anything off or add anything to it, but at least start thinking about what we want to do. The rock shortage is probably going to impact them a lot because of the flooding that occurred up there, so.
Oh, so that's,
Yeah, but we're facing it as well.
was this more of their agenda than ours?
No, this is topics that I thought we would want to bring up, so.
Because it said Ottawa County, so I thought, well, maybe.
That would be there, right?
Yes, yeah,
Thank you.
I can, yeah, should be.
Lane Bauer's gonna be there, or did they invite legislators?
I don't think they invited the legislators. No, unless Tammy made or asked her commissioners if she wanted to, so, but Bruce and Jay, I know were invited.
Nice for them to be there, even if all they do is listen, just to.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll suggest that.
I mean, I don't know that, there's usually so many people available to speak at that. We usually just have one per county. Had you talked to Kenny about that? Are you?
No, I just wanted to bring it up now, yeah.
What's that?
Mhm.
Are you attending that?
I'd like to.
Yeah, I didn't, as far as VP,
Next week, isn't it?
yeah, next Thursday night, so.
But sometimes what we do, is have, you know, 6 counties or 7 counties are there and they all have 4 people there or something like that, rather than hear from 28 or 30 people. We have one person for each county as a spokesperson. So sometimes we had a commissioner do it, and at times we've had Janelle do it. But I guess however you want to work that, that's.
I think Janelle and I are both going to go.
And
Well,
yeah.
Yes, but as far as, so what they'll do is they'll go around the room and say, okay, Dickinson County, what do you have to say?
Mhm.
And so rather than, if there's 3 of us there or 4 of us, all of us take 5 minutes or 3 minutes, it's better for one person.
So I wanted to get some topics out there to start having that discussion of what you would like to cover and see if there's anything that,
So what I was suggesting is either Janelle speak or you speak,
Yeah.
but not both of you, unless you want to split it up. But
and I can give you some talking points or whatever.
I don't
you wanna
mind
do. Okay.
doing it.
yeah, otherwise it's like 10:30 or 11 that they wrap up, you know, so. Are you going, Jennifer?
Wasn't on my agenda.
That's why I'm saying no, I think.
So do.
She's a planner. Organized.
Emergency management.
Can't really get away this time of year very easily.
Maybe, yeah,
But you
that's,
can't go to
I
everything.
figured I would pull them off to the side if we have that.
I thought so too. I'll let you do that.
Can do.
Don't you have one in Salon in the morning too, that same day?
Yeah, so we are going to go to that local consult meeting next Thursday morning as well, and that's for KDOT. So, but I think it was determined that go ahead and have the commission meeting and Marcus would be here for that because you were interested in attending or one or the other.
Yes.
Yeah,
Should I mean, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So we'll get that coordinated, you know.
I won't be here soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Good time on the railroad, or how fast do we gotta move on that?
So, do you want to wait and delay it another week? Because we could do that too. That's.
Well, the problem is I'll be gone the
You're
week
going-
after that
you're going
too,
off
so, I don't mind if you guys want, I don't need, I think it's pretty straightforward. I can,
Well,
what
if
I'll
you have
do,
concerns, you could always
that's what I was gonna
let
do.
Marcus know.
Yeah.
Maybe email everybody and let
Yep.
you know, and
Yeah.
that's what I'll do. I'll just, if I have any concerns, I'll send an email to everybody saying, here's what I think. Don't do that.
Send it to me and then I will distribute it. Yeah, that way it's a little, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Would you mind signing in on the clipboard up here?
We don't know who you
We
are.
don't know who you are.
We could put your name there and then have you check off when you show up.
Maybe we just put her name behind that seat.
There you go.
That's her seat now.
Yeah, we have some few minutes unless you have some questions for Kay.
I don't.
It's pretty straightforward.
Don't have anything. I guess we'll take a short break until 11 a.m. in our regular meeting, giving us 23-minute break here.
It was hard to go.
It is.
Yes. My daughter and I were.
Yeah, it's a good, they did a pretty good job.
They did a really good job.
That and the Oklahoma City bombing is a memorial everybody needs to visit as well.
I've never been down there.
Oh,
Yeah, my
it's,
sister lived in Oklahoma and her husband was downtown
At the Mer-
that day.
Oh, my goodness.
And, but, my youngest daughter has 4 little girls and she took them this summer and they all cried.
yes, yeah, it is,
They
it's
couldn't
something.
understand, young, they're 7 to 14, but they couldn't understand why somebody would do that with children.
Exactly.
No, there's only one thing I've done like that that I feel like was more heart wrenching, but it was the Holocaust stuff.
Oh,
Yes.
That is a whole nother level of energy. I'm not an energy guy. I'm pretty practical, but it is a thing.
my
It
daughter
is a thing.
studied in Poland, through Emporia State, and she's, they would do a lot of their studies, at Auschwitz, and she said it's full.
I'll share it.
You walk out of there and.
Oh, you're.
Trained.
So we went, I was engaged to a German at one point in my life. We went with her grandfather, who was alive,
Oh, wow.
and he hid from the program to get out. He was a partisan, I think is what he told me. Anyway, he'd never been to one, and I went with him.
Wow.
And that was the most gut-wrenching, because it was guilt that was coming out of him.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just, it was an experience that I'll never forget it. Just because he never been to one, never seen it. And then he kind of, he confronted it that day. I feel it's horrible.
The Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., Bob, there were several kids from Chapman that were killed in Vietnam. When you find their names
Special.
on there, that's really
Yes.
impressive too.
Some of those you just walk on the site and it has just a completely different feel immediately. I mean, you just know you're
John Hologram.
in Oklahoma City is that way too. You walk
Yeah.
there and it's just
I have to go down to that
Oh,
one.
you do.
as close as.
I don't know why I've never
Yeah.
Well, it was
occurred
in
to me.
93, so, and
No, I
Yeah.
didn't know the event, but I've never occurred to me that they have it in memorial. I need to go down and see it.
They've done it right too.
They have, yeah.
They've really done a good job.
So they had a contest for that, or well, it wasn't really like a contest, but you had to submit if you wanted to do a design. And I think they charged, if I recall right, it was like $500 or $750 or something to submit a design for review. So it didn't just have people thinking, well, I'll do it. So all of a sudden there's thousands of them. And so the architects and people that submitted designs really had given a lot of thought. They had a committee for it. But it is amazing the way they selected it.
right.
We
The
live
empty
close,
chairs.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, okay, go
I
ahead.
know.
we live close enough that if you ever get a chance to go to the museum at Port Riley, that they have the old part where it's a regular museum, the Vietnam veteran part of one.
Yeah.
Not veterans, but they were the men, a setup like where they were in Vietnam. It was, when you
Oh,
walk,
wow.
it's very, it's right there next to the museum, but take it.
Mm.
And we're close enough, you can do that, but it's something that, it's horrible.
Was Bob in Vietnam?
No, he was, his number was like within a few of the number, but no, it was
I went with my grandpa who was in it. We walked, God, it seemed like forever, and he kept looking. Finally, we found a name. I had to get on his back as a little kid, and we etched it. And he told me the story, and it was just,
Yeah.
ew.
I remember it was one of the flowers and class. And we found their names.
So 2 trawlers?
I don't remember, but anyway, but his number was low enough. But he did know some that were like 20 and
Yeah.
lower there, and they went.
Yeah, they did.
It was Gary Trower, and I can't remember
There were some,
Renner,
that
what his name
had it
was.
fancy, but I mean, there were certain battlegrounds that were just devastating.
Yeah.
during
Sitting
Vietnam.
in line in one of the trucks over
Well, it's
there.
like on-
Got
Yeah.
shot and
Father-in-law had 2 tours.
out in the,
My grandpa did one and then he came back to be, they made him a DI.
and so
And he
forth
could-
down in there. And,
And what he told me is like, I could tell.
Sitting in, shouting like.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make it. And he's like, I couldn't,
Yeah, I
it's
was.
too much for me.
Dad actually was in the Navy during that time. He just had a tour or so, and he fortunately he didn't have to go over there, but, yeah, he still saw some of it too.
That was a bad one.
Yeah.
And the way they came home.
You know, Butch Miller and Bob Vandy Creek, that's how they kind of got here.
Oh.
Well, Don, you know, Butch is Don's brother,
Mhm.
and that's how they, because Bob Vandy Creek lived here, Butch came and they
Oh.
set here or moved here, and that those two, they were in some bad.
And back then, there was no PTSD. It was come home and get back and
And people
deal
were
with it.
not nice to them.
No.
I don't remember, that was the worst part.
That's probably what made it worse. Come home and then everyone,
Yeah, have
I feel like you did it for,
Yeah.
It was
But
a
on
bad
boats
time in
and
our
stuff
country.
coming through the, air.
Yeah, and now when the military comes to
In World War II, though, they would never speak about it.
No.
Right.
There were some, but
The World War II Museum in Kansas City is very impressive as well. Huge.
Down here too.
Yes.
I mean, I figure most of us have been to it, but
It's
if people in the county never been to that, I'm like, man, you're really missing.
Missing.
It's right here. you know?
Right here.
Gotta drive to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Been there a while. I know they updated it. I'm trying to go back through it.
It's good, yeah. I went to an exhibit there a couple months ago. It was that.
We did it in
The
school. Do they
artist
still do that?
that,
Oh,
gosh, I can't think of her name out, but she was such a neat lady, but she drew a picture, a watercolor of every vet, a vet from every state. And their stories, I mean, some had committed suicide, so they weren't living any longer. Some were farmers. It was a great, yeah, and they've done a good job.
I need to go back through there.
Although you can't go to school.
Yeah, sure.
Because I gave Meredith a hard
I
time.
still have the schools go do that.
there's
No, we did it in school.
nothing to add to the agenda.
I gave Meredith a hard time because we had the
I'm
gallon.
coming to talk about,
Well, what the heck?
I know.
you know,
I'm sorry.
coming.
No, this is just, Marcus and I should be able to handle that, yeah.
Call this meeting to order. If it all rise to a flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving down to the approval of agenda, we have 2 items on today's agenda. One is a resolution to appoint Kay Hoffman as representative on the North Central Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging Board. The second is to consider the purchase of batteries for the Zoll monitors for the EMS. That is our agenda today. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Carries. Moving down to consent agenda. The minutes are provided for you in your packets, Commissioners, for October 9th meeting. Expenditures of $370,588.67. Hand checks of $2,225.94. And SD security of $4,588.50.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner comments, committee reports. Lynn, you want to kick it off this week?
I'll just mention, and probably Janelle will touch on it too, I know, in her report, but I did attend quite a bit of the staff development day, and it was just helpful to have all of the employees, the department heads, elected officials there. It really gives you an idea of all the things that they do. And, you know, you can tell that their heart is to do the best they can for the county. And they take their job seriously. And this is kind of an in-house training opportunity, but also a chance to kind of hear about each department, tell about what they do. And so anyway, and I know we had staff that actually, and people that were part of the committee to put that together. So anyway, I was glad I was able to attend a portion of that.
Thank you, Lynn. Ron?
I did spend a little bit of time yesterday at the, you know, the detention center, everything's working well. Business is up. I don't want to say that it's being silly, but kids are getting in trouble. So they got a place to go. There's a sure home for them, but everything's fine there. And the guys are working hard. The folks are working hard. And I'm thinking about harvest going on too in our county. Things look pretty well, a little slow in some fields, but the yields seem to be pretty good in a lot of the areas. So we're sure thankful for that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ron. Yeah, I'll kind of ditto on the ag side. You know, it seems like we're getting some wheat drilled in. I even see some wheat coming up already. So that's pretty impressive. And it sounds like we had a decent harvest. I'm not trying to blanket that for everyone in the county, but it sounds like we had an all right harvest. So the commodity prices where they are, we need the yields to be up to make the economy of scale get in there. I also attended the Eisenhower Gala this past weekend. Absolutely wonderful event. They moved it from the Eisenhower Center over to the Country Club in Salina. I can't say more how appreciative I am. They really put together a good deal, even though the library is shut down with the federal shutdown at the moment. So I just want to extend my thanks to them, and it was a great meal too. On top of that, I also attended the staff day, very briefly, probably not as much as everyone else, but I'm just going to likewise say what Lynn said. What an amazing event. It really gives a good opportunity, I think, for all the departments to explain what everyone's doing. And I think we ought to be very proud of that. Not all counties operate this way and have as much interdepartmental conversations going on. And I think that's a credit to our administrative staff, Janelle and Marcus. So thank you guys for putting stuff like that on and having a good running county. Thank you. That is all I have today. Don't have any petitions or proclamations today. We'll move down to the public comment time period. If County Administrator General Dockendorf will read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Thank you, Janelle. Do not believe we have any public comments today. We'll go ahead and move down to reports from county officers. Once again, we'll start with County Administrator General Dockendorf.
Commissioners, as Martin reported earlier, Reese Construction is going to start next week at 345 Rain Road. And that was one of the 3 bridges that you had accepted bids on earlier this year. So we'll start that ball rolling. This is the time we typically do that. Public Works Department is also shouldering Jeep Road north of I-70, going back and taking care of that. the 800 radio project. So we're progressing pretty quickly right now. So the north tower is complete. The generator is, we're waiting for tests on that, but the antennas have been installed. South tower, the pad has been poured and the generator has actually been set. So we'll get the fiber to that, the electricity to that, and hopefully by the end of November, we'll be up and running on our 800 system. So, which is good news. The assistant county administrator and the chairman will be attending the CAB, the Corrections Advisory Board meeting after this. And we do have open positions in dispatch and in jail. And as for the staff development day, so this is an annual event and we wouldn't be able to host it without the support of the county commission. So thank you very much for that. So, and like you said, it's a good day where we can bring all of our staff or as many that are able to attend and hear reports from other offices, because we are all interconnected in one way, shape, or form. And we have to work together to do the business of the county, period. So, and then we also had training from our First Amendment auditors, and then our investigators here also provided some social media or online internet training, however you want to say that. So we try to find people that have in our county that can showcase some of those skills that they have and do some training for our staff and just keep them apprised of what's going on. And I appreciate our Safety and Wellness Committee and our managers, Jennifer, all the words that she spoke. So, for their hard work on that. We ran out of time actually with all of the departments in speaking. So already got plans in full force for next year. So we're looking forward to that again. So thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me?
Okay. Thank you, Janelle. County Councilor Doug Thompson.
Thank you. I'm working with the recovery team from Abilene and Junction City and helping those individuals that got into a situation with dependency upon drugs. And right across the hallway is where most of our team is. And so we're involved with Junction City and Abilene to help those individuals to make it through it. And we've got coming up here on, I think it's the 1st of November, we go to Kansas City for some more training and upgrading so that we can be right on top of the best ways to handle the situation for them. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. County Clerk Jennifer Gayton. Any notices, communications, or updates today?
Yes. Early voting in person and by mail started yesterday at the county clerk's office. That's for the general election on November 4th. And it's located at the courthouse and it's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. If you'd like to request a ballot by mail, you may. And if you call the county clerk's office, we'll help you with that. So far, we've had 24 early in-person voters and 115 ballots sent by mail.
Thank you. Moving now to the next agenda item, we have resolution 101625. This is to appoint Kay Hoffman as a representative on the North Central Flint Hills Area Agency and Aging Board. Pretty much said exactly what we're doing there.
So I'm glad she was recruited for that, but also that she was willing
Willing
to
to.
participate. And so I would move that we adopt resolution 101625, which does appoint Kay Hoffman to that board.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion?
Is that a lifetime appointment? Like,
That's what we're doing.
tell you that.
It's 2-year terms, right?
I hadn't gotten to that yet, so.
Surprise.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Kay. I believe you have a signed copy of that. Moving down to the other business we have today, which is to consider purchase of batteries for the Zoll monitors for EMS department. And Janelle, Marcus,
A little bit. I spoke with John, he brought an invoice in, so you had just approved the Zoll monitors a couple of weeks ago. And the overall price, we were replacing 5 monitors. Originally, was looking at $253,315. Unfortunately, then the vendor came back with a second invoice for the batteries, because they're not gonna do so lot of good without the batteries, and unfortunately, batteries are not cheap. So we're looking at an additional $23,924.25. We do have to have 10 batteries for the 5 monitors because they have to have a backup ready at all times, so they can always be able to switch that out in case they're on some sort of call that would require, and it might run down 1 full battery. So there is a requirement to have 2 on each vehicle. So as we discussed on the first time, we had budgeted in the capital plan originally, been looking at this for years, at about $200,000. And so even at the 253, we were already going over what our original plan was. So this comes in at about a total of $277,239.25. So we will be a little more over what we originally had planned or budgeted out of the equipment reserve. That's something that we would be able to review as we're working through the 2027 budget next year, so that we can make sure that as we're talking about cash balance policies in the upcoming weeks and months, that would be something we can address with the equipment reserve as well, and we can address it in the future. This is a necessary piece of equipment, I think, in order to be able to operate these monitors. So just we want to get that in front of you guys today to see if we can come up with the additional.
It's the cardiac monitors on each ambulance.
I mean, I plan to vote in approval of this, but why
Yes.
wasn't this spelled out? This seems a little disingenuous.
And that's, yeah, we were pretty disappointed.
And then I'm just gonna go through here.
Yeah.
Superpower charger, $450 for an adapter. I don't know what a Superpower 4 battery is, but they're $1,180 a pop.
Mhm.
And from how John described it, it sounds like we're pretty limited on how
Kind of
many
have, yeah.
vendors we have to work with on this type of equipment. And you're right. I mean, it does feel, these prices seem pretty, I mean, you're just looking at the batteries alone. They're almost $1,200 a piece.
I know these aren't AA electrolyte batteries, but it says $850 on here for a AA electrolyte. I hope that's not a pack of 8 AA batteries. About $10.
You have to look at them.
No, I assume they're special, but
And John did let the vendor know that we were not pleased that this was not included in the original bid that we received. So, yeah, but
curious, was there other bids or is this the only company?
this was single source because we have the Zoll monitors is what was purchased. So.
I was curious if maybe there was another that bid it under and then we, but it doesn't sound like that's the case.
Case in this scenario, but he did let them know that in the future, any bids, we need to see the full picture up front.
100%.
Make those decisions.
I can kind of relate to this. I was going to a meeting here a couple weeks ago and I thought I'd just do a drive-through and get a hamburger. And they did the same thing to me. They didn't give me the hamburger inside. They gave me the buns. So I can relate. Seriously, it did happen. Anyway, there you go.
Okay.
And we do have the funds in the capital outlay to take care of it, like Marcus said.
So you would need authorization of $23,924.25.
That's correct.
That'd be a good amount to authorize. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm being smart.
Yeah, we don't want to get into third one.
No, I was still joking. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any more discussion over it? Yeah, if you could just relay that the commission would appreciate a full bid in the first time, that would be nice.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I vote aye, sorry. In favor.
Figure.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for everybody being here. We are adjourned.